Okay, 8th graders, part 3 of 7-2. Now we're going to talk about exterior angles on page 397. All right, so in addition to the 3 interior angles, a triangle can have an exterior angle formed by one side of the triangle and the extension of the adjacent side. So if you were to have a triangle, right, there's a triangle, and you just kept the lines going, boom, boom. That line would keep going, boom. That line would technically keep going, you know, whatever. You could figure out what these angles need to be. Again, good with architecture, drawing, art, stuff like that, engineering, all that good stuff. So if you can figure out the interior angles, it can help you figure out the exterior angles if you need to. So we know that the angles of 1, 2, and 3 will add up to be 180, all right? But look at this. How can we figure out what angle 4 is? This is an exterior. Because if we were to color this guy in, this is the interior of our triangle, right? These are on the inside. So 4, 5, and 6 are all exterior. They're on the outside. The measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180. How do we know that? Because remember, anytime you have a line, from this side here all the way over is 180 degrees. If you made it a full circle, then it's 360, right? So we know that from here to here is 180. Just like how the interiors of the triangles equal 180. So a triangle's inside angles, interior angles, equal 180, and then a line from side to side would be 180. Aha, so 4 plus 1, the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 1 will equal 180. So 6 over here plus what angle will equal 180? 2. And then the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 3 will get you 180. So now what they're going to do, and they talk really wordy in here, remote interior angles. I don't really care that you know that. But you need to add up these numbers, okay? So if they're giving you the angles of 2 and 3, you can add them up and minus it from 180 to figure out what the measure of angle 1 is. Then you can figure out what 4 would be, because then you take 180 and you minus whatever that angle is. Here's an example. All right, so here you have a triangle with 60 degrees, 55 degrees, and 65 degrees. How could you figure out what C is? Well, it tells you, so that's nice. There's also a video online on 7-2. If you go through the Launch the Lesson, it'll show you this if you're struggling. We know 65 plus 55 plus 60 equals 180, right? And we know 65 plus 115 equals 180, okay? And then there's all this mathing and stuff. To measure, the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measure of its 2 remote interior angles. All that's saying is you can, if you look here, so this is 115, 2 of the remote ones will equal it. So what are these remote angles equaling? Well, they equal 115. Oh, look, and it matches C. You see that? So you can add up these two, A and B, to figure out what C would be, and then you could figure out what 1 is, but 1 is actually going to be the same as A and B added up together. So A and B, the measure of those angles together, will equal what 1 is. So that's a shortcut. All right, let's put it into practice here. The beach chair shown, the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 3, they tell you. So what's 1 gonna be? Well, 1's on the outside, see? Which is weird. Why didn't they put it as like number 4? But because 1 should be in here. Maybe this one's 4. I don't know. But 2 and 3 are 60 and 55. So you add those 2 up, and you get 115, okay? So if the measure of angle 2 and 3 get to 115, so how could you figure out what this one would be? Inside, you would take 180 and minus it. how do we figure out what this is? Well, you take 180 and minus whatever that is. But remember, here's that tip from the other page. 2 and 3, the far away, remote interior angles will equal this. Okay, so to see it in practice, if you have 115, how do we figure out, say this is angle 4, let's just call it that. All right, 180, okay, minus that 115. Oops, I can write. I need more coffee maybe. I do need more coffee. 180 minus 115 equals 65. So that's going to equal 65. See how I use the calculator? I could figure this out, but feel free to use a calculator. So that means 4, the measure of angle 4, is 65 degrees. If we were to take 180 and minus 65, then we'd get the measure of 1, because from here to here is 180. So 180 minus the 65 will get us what 1 is. Oh, wait, 115, doesn't that match 2 and 3? Yeah, that's the point. That's the tip. So 2 and 3 are far away from 1. They're remote interior angles. This one's an exterior angle. And the measures of these two combined will tell you what that is. Kind of cool. This is really crazy, so we're just going to flip to the practice. There's some cool applied geometry things if you're really digging this and you want to do some extra stuff. All right, this one's about that ratio, which I feel I did a good enough example for you. If not, feel free to rewatch. Over here, they want you to figure out what 2 is, okay? So this might be hard if you're like colorblind or something. Find the measure of angle 2. So we have 1, then we have this corner and this corner. So 1 is, it tells you 42 degrees. So 42 degrees plus, this has that straight line box, so that means it's 90. Add these up, 2, and that's 13, so 132 degrees. That means number 2, the measure of angle 2. Measure of angle 2 is, or you could just put angle 2, 132 degrees. Oh, I should have put that in there. And you could double check it by saying, okay, 180 minus 132 will get you an answer for whatever this guy is. And then this guy minus the 180 will get you that. 180, take away that, okay? Same with this. So to find 4, you would add up angles 1 and 3, and that would tell you what the measure of angle 4 is. And if they wanted you to find the measure of angle 2, which it does, then you just take 180 and you minus what these two add up to. Okay, good luck.